What's going on? Stefan here, S&E's Garage, with our new to us 2001 Jeep Cherokee XJ. Currently it presents to us with a crank no start condition, and I just kind of want to take you guys on the journey with me. I'll show you what I found and we'll go from there. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go in the Jeep. I already got it kind of taken apart because I was picking around in here. And I'm going to turn the ignition on, and I want you guys to notice something. When I turn my gauges on, I have no odometer and I have no check engine light. None of my gauges are working, and when I crank it, the battery's a little dead right now, but when you crank it, it doesn't fire. Let me make sure my jump box is hooked up right. Oh, jump box is almost dead. Make sure we have a good connection here. See if we can get her to crank. If not, I'll throw her on the charger and show you. Yeah, alright guys, so I just charged the battery for a little bit. So here's basically where we were at. We had a crank, no start. So you crank it, it would crank, wouldn't fire off. So with that, I started doing my preliminary checks, and I found two blown fuses. I had a 15 ampere IOD fuse, which is this guy right here. I don't have a fuse in there right now. And I had a number 11 fuse down here blown, which is this guy right here. And when I would put a new fuse in there, it would just pop, which indicates that we had a dead short somewhere. So then what I did is I took my voltmeter here and I put it in resistance or ohms, and I checked where the fuse goes, and when this beeps, it means I have continuity. There you go. So when she beeps, that means we have continuity, and we don't want that. So if we put our fuse, our meter lead in, and touch it on one of these, it was either this one or the one in the car, we had a dead short to ground. So let me get this in the car. Here, I'll be right with you. So I want you to watch my voltmeter when I touch the terminals of this fuse. If you hear it beeping, I'm in here on that fuse number 11, and I have 2 ohms, which means I have a dead short to ground on this circuit, and I believe this fuse kept blowing also. Let me put one in and see if it just pops. Yep. So that's no good also. Now I don't remember if this one was shorted to ground or not, but I know the one was. Now see, this is not shorted to ground, it's just pulling a ton of amperage. So long story short, I have a short to ground somewhere. And I looked in the power flow of those 2 fuses. Power distribution is what you would call it. I'm going to link that down below, or maybe I'll put it in the video. And those modules, those fuses both shared a couple of modules in common. They shared the cluster in common, they share the PCM in common, and they share the TCM in common. So what I did first was I unplugged my powertrain control module, which is over here. So you would unplug this, right? You'd unplug all of these, check over there or under the, you know, the glove box, see if you had a short to ground. I still had a short to ground with this unplugged. And then I went under here and I unplugged my transmission control module, which is this little guy right here. And with this unplugged, I'll show you. We have that unplugged now. Now let's go check our short. Our short to ground is gone. The meter is no longer beeping. So that transmission control module is what was causing my problems this whole time. Because now if I put a fuse in here and I take another 15 amp and I stick that fuse up under the hood like this, you'll notice it didn't pop that time. We're going to move this stuff out of the way. You'll notice I now have an odometer, and the Jeep fires right off. So don't be afraid of electronic diagnosis. 9 times out of 10 you're going to have a module that's causing a short to ground. That's why what I like to do is unplug all of the modules or anything that fuse feeds first before I start tracing wires. I hope this helps. Please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing, and I'll see you on the next one.